Obviously, we are starting a new Mishnah. Of course, we learn for the schut of the people who are injured, the soldiers that should have speedy recovery. Unfortunately, I hear now where the terrorist shot on, this must be very close to Yerushalayim, on the way after Gilo, it's on the way to Efrat. So one soldier was killed and 6 injured. It's a battle. And apparently they said they are making good progress in Gaza. But obviously we have to daven and ask God that the matter should be finished without many casualties. So, we are learning Masechet Sotah, page 7.1. Let me take the English. I'm talking from the Hebrew. 7a. No, sorry. It is 7a, 3 in the bottom, starting the Mishnah. 7a3, the bottom, the Mishnah. Now we are coming to more describing how did it happen, what happened when she came to Yerushalayim. What was the process? So he says, היו מעלים אותה לבית הדין הגדול שבירושלים. The husband and the escort, because remember, when she was escorted, both of them were escorted by 2 Talmidei Chachomim, 2 Rabbonim, that they should be separated while they are traveling to Yerushalayim. So this group, 3 people, they bring her up to the High Court in Jerusalem. Now, what is High Court? The legal system had each town, each place had the Beis Din. In order to, if there are disputes or whatever, you need to have a Beis Din, 3 dayanim at least, like we have in Johannesburg and all of the other places. Then was a Beis Din that numbered the 2 dayanim numbers, and they could apply punishments when there is a need, even cuts and so on, or even to sentence somebody to death. Then there is the High Court, the High Beis Din in Yerushalayim. It's called the High Court in Yerushalayim, had 71 dayanim. So they bring her to the Beis Din, and the judges, what is actually now we want? She is about to come and to drink the bitter water, But as we said, what happened is there is a water special was drawn from a lake or Mayan, but they wrote the passage from the Torah, which is talking about the woman Sotah, that she is suspected, and there is the name of God. Second. So the name of Hashem is being washed off by this water. And this water she has to drink, add the name of Hashem washed off there. And we are trying whatever we can to avoid erasing the name of Hashem, the name of God. How can we do that? Obviously, if she will admit that she sinned, then she doesn't drink. Then they don't have to make the water. So now this Mishnah tells you how do they try to convince her to admit if she's guilty, to admit. So they say, כדרך שמאמין על ידי נפשות. In the same way that the Beis Din usually intimidate witnesses in capital cases. In other words, if there is an allegation on somebody, let's say he killed somebody, and obviously the punishment is death, if he was mourned and so on, the Beis Din will sentence him to death. But first of all, you need two witnesses. The Beis Din has to make sure that they can rely on the two witnesses. So it says they used to intimidate the witnesses to ensure that they don't lie, that the witnesses don't lie, because if they lie, means it will bring an innocent person to death. So similarly, the Beis Din tried to intimidate the woman if she's guilty to admit. Why? Because we want to save the whole process of the water, not to erase the name of God. So what does it say to her? Biti, my daughter, הרבה יין עושה. Wine causes much impropriety. You know, it could be they try to play to her that there is a possibility that she sinned because some circumstances caused her to sin. So they give her away. Maybe you drink wine, הרבה שחוק עושה, levity causes much, הרבה ילדות עושה, childishness cause much. In other words, maybe you are too young or you were brought up and not in a nice way, which means you can't be completely responsible for that, for your behavior. הרבה שכנים הרעים עושה. Maybe you were under influence of wicked neighbors. So they give her all kinds of options to say this. We can understand if you did sin. Now, עשי לשמו הגדול שנכתב בקדושה. Act for the sake of Hashem, the great name, which is written in holiness. שלא ימחה על המים, do for the sake of God, that it should not be erased on the water. What does it mean? If she will admit that she's guilty, then obviously it will save the whole story with the water, then the name of God will not be erased. So there is a whole attempt to save the name of God not to be erased. Then, ואומר לפניה דברים שאינם כדי לשומם. And they say, relate before her matters that she is not deserving to hear. What does it mean? So, for instance, they will tell the story about great in history or great people in the Tanakh, in the Bible, that they sinned, to show her, look, a person can sin. It's possible even great people sin. So don't feel that it will be something abnormal and unusual if you admit. What they say here in היא וכל משפחת בית אביה, neither she nor all her father's family. So, you know, it's something that, what is footnote 42? They tell us stories about righteous biblical figures, such as Judah and Reuben, who sinned and were not ashamed to confess their misdeeds. Then they admonished the Sotah that she too should not be ashamed to admit her sin. In other words, again, all these attempts to avoid the drinking of the water in order not to erase the name of Hashem in the water. Now, after they told her, they said to her what it is, there are now two possibilities. What will be the response to this attempt? אם אמרת מעני, if a response is, I am defiled, שוברת כתובתה ויוצאת. She writes a receipt for her ksuba because she's not entitled to get her ktuba, but she like put a document that she like as if received it and goes out. And obviously, what means goes out? She'll have to get a get to be divorced and she'll leave. She can't continue to live with him because if she really defiled, then a woman, if she had a relationship while married with somebody else, had to be divorced. אם אמרה טהורה אני. Now what happened? She still insists that she's not guilty, I'm pure. מעלים אותה לשער המזרח. They take her up to the eastern gate, which means in the Bet HaMikdash, in the Holy Temple, which was directly opposite to Nicanor Gate. There was a gate there called Nicanor. One can do that because it was named after, I think, a Roman general, Nicanor, because of some, I think, unnatural thing happened. What do you say here? Okay, it doesn't matter. It was a story. This is the name. ששם משקים את הסוטות. On this spot, this is where in near Edek Nicanor gate, they gave the suspected Sotah the bitter waters to drink. Also, in the same place, in other contexts, metarin et hayodot, they would purify the women who have given birth, because, as you know, a woman that she gave birth, then she becomes impure and she has to be purified, and there is a process for that, and ומתארין את המצורעים, they purify the מצורעים, people that are lepers, that get leprosy, that to be purified. So this is a spot where this thing's taking place. Then, at that point, כהן אוחז בבגדיה, a Kohen grabs her hold of her clothing. Now it's a process to try and degenerate her. אם נקראו, if when he pulled her clothing, their torn. אם נפרמו, if they were shredded, עד שהוא מגלה את ליבה. He rips them until he uncovers her bosom. וסותר את שערה, and then unbraids her hair. So, you know, it's a process which actually degrading her, and continue, Rabbi Yehuda says, אם היה ליבה נאה, if her bosom was comely, לא היה מגלהו, they wouldn't uncover. אם היה שערה נאה, if she had a nice, beautiful hair, לא היה סותר, he would not unbraid it. Okay, so this is the question exactly, what did they do about her clothes, about her. Then, הייתה מתכסה בלבנים, if she was dressed in white clothes, מכסה בשחורים, then the Kohen will now dress her in black. All this, as I said, the psychological thing to demoralize the Sotah, that if she is indeed guilty, she will confess, and the name of Hashem will not be erased in vain. If היה עליה כלי זהב, if she came decorated with gold ornaments, בקטליות נזמים וטבעות, chalk, you know, all kind of jewelry, finger rings, whatever, מעבירים ממנה כדי לנבלה. They strip her off of all the jewelry in order to make her repulsive. ואחר כך מביא חבל מצרי, afterwards the Kohen brings a rope from palm fibers, וקושרו למעלה מדדיה, and ties it above her bosom, וכל הרוצה לראות. This was to tie her up with something that her dress should not completely fall, that she wouldn't be naked, standing naked there. וכל הרוצה לראות, whoever wishes to watch, in order to watch all this procedure, בא לראות, may come to watch, all this part of the process to demoralize her, to degrade her, חוץ מעבדיה ושפחותיה, except her slaves and maidservants are not permitted, they were not permitted to attend this ceremony. Why? מפני שליבה גס בהם. Because her heart is emboldened by them. In other words, if she has her servants or men servants on, she will feel strength. It will be like encouragement. And even if she would like to admit being guilty, she won't do it because she feels either ashamed for her servants, or now she feels stronger that she has servants with her. וכל הנשים מותרות לראותה. All women are permitted to watch her in this process. Like we said before, other people as well, שנאמר ונבשרו כל הנשים, ולא תעשינה כזימתכנה. What is the purpose of the emphasis to allow the women the candle? Because this should be a warning, or that women should learn from here, from this degradation, to deter other women from acting such an immoral fashion of defiling. So this is what the Mishnah says. As I said, now we get a little bit more to the real process. Now comes the Gemora and says, Menane mile. Where do we learn from a text that this matter has to be brought to the High Court in Yerushalayim? Where do we derive this from? Amar Rab Chia bar Ganda, Amar Rab Yossi bar Chanina. Rabbi Yossi, Rab Chia, in the name of Rabbi Yossi, son of Chanina, Etia Torah Torah. One of the 13 principles are 13 midot שהתורה נדרשת, that our rabbis derive lessons. There is one of them called Gzera Shava. I think we came across before that if you find two subjects, maybe unrelated, the only thing if they've got a common expression or a common word in these most cases, so it was meant to derive a lesson, but the very fact that there is this common word. And as it's written here, the word Torah is a common, not common, is used in the two subjects. One is Tivacha v'asala kohen et kol HaTorah. It's written here regarding a Sotah, the Kohen shall perform for her this entire Torah, which means Torah here, the law, the old law that we were talking about, the Sotah. Uktivatam, there is another verse, Al pi HaTorah asher yurucha. It's written according to the Torah that will teach you. This is talking about when certain issues that had to be decided by the High Court. So they're using also the word Torah. So the rabbis using this technique techniques, which is one of the 13 ways, מה להלן ב-71, in the same way that we're talking about you have to abide by the laws of the Torah that they will teach you is referring to the court of 71 judges, Dayanim. There is talking about the whole subject of Zaken Mamre. It is about if a scholar how would I say, acted against the decision of the Beis Din of the High Court, so he has to be brought to the High Court and he might be sentenced to death, but this is to be the High Court. So in the same way that with regard to the Ken Mamre, to this rebellious rabbi, that you have to bring a matter to the decision of the High Court, 71 people, 71 judges. In other words, they are known by the Sanhedrin. So in the same way that the word Torah written there, it refers to the court of 71 judges. So from there we learn that what he said, Vasala Kohen et Kol Torah, the word Torah, which is mentioned with regard to Sotah, means Afkan b-71. So here also it refers to the court of 71. Now, the Mishnah says, Umaymin alea, the judges try to intimidate her in order to make her admit that if she was guilty, in order to avoid drinking the water, as we said before. Now the Gemora asks a question. Seems to be another text which is contrasting what we say here. We will say we try to threaten her and to try to push her to admit not to drink, כדרך שמאמין עליה שלא תשתה, just as they attempt to intimidate her that she not drink, כך מאמין עליה שתשתה. Then there is another expression, in the same way, we impress upon her that she should drink. How we do, what do we do it? אומרים לה, ביתי, our daughter, ברור לך הדבר שתורעת, my daughter, if the matter is clear to you that you are pure, which means innocent, and therefore that you should not drink, עמדי על בוריך ושתי. Have courage, be strong, rely on your innocence, and drink. לפי שאין המים המרים דומים אלא לסם יבש. There is nothing, if you are pure, if you are innocent, there is no anything wrong in drinking. It is like similar to a dry salvia שמונח הבשר חי. It is like אין המים מרים אלא לסם יבש. It is like something dry which won't have any effect. אם יש שם בשר חי, it rests upon raw skin. אם יש שם מכה, if there is a wound, מחלחל ויורד, the saliva will penetrate and descends into the wound, thereby healing it. אין שם מכה, and if there is no open wound, אינו מועיל כלום, is there no effect whatsoever, so there is no danger or reason for you not to drink. The water only has an effect if you committed adultery. Otherwise, there is no effect whatsoever. So what do we see here? Here we encourage her to drink. Before we said we encourage her not to drink. So it seems to be a contradiction. How do we understand it? Said the Gemora, lo kasha. The Gemora resolves this, what seems to be contradiction. כאן קודם שנמחקה המגילה, כאן לאחר שנמחקה הגילה. Depends. Before we erase the name of Hashem by putting the text into the water, then we want to avoid their drinking. So therefore, we do all kind of techniques to discourage her, to discourage her from drinking by admitting. However, after the Nimchika Gila, after they already, she didn't capitulate, she is prepared to drink, and the Kohen already put the parchment with the name of Hashem into the water, and the name of God was already erased. Then, after it was erased, we encourage her to drink the bitter water. And what is the reason for this? We encourage her to drink if she is truly innocent, for if she is fearful and refuses to drink, she will remain prohibited to her husband, and aspirations will be cast upon herself and her children. If she's not drinking, then it means the suspicion is still go with her the whole time, that she'll have to divorce. But if she's already, there is nothing for us to save the name of God because it's already erased, so it will be a pity if she is really innocent not to drink. Then we encourage her to drink. So at least then by drinking, and she can prove that she is completely innocent, and therefore there is no reason for us to try to continue trying her to avoid drinking. On the contrary, we want them to drink, and the truth will come. If she is guilty, then, as we learned, it will kill her eventually. But if not, then she only will be blessed and blossoms and so on and so forth. So therefore, after, if already the name of Hashem is erased, we can't really win anything if she's not drinking. She can't win anything. We don't win anything because she drank already the water, the name of Hashem is erased. The only possibility there is a win. The win is if she is innocent. Obviously, there is the other side. If she's really guilty, the drinking will eventually, as I said, kill her. But,
Rav, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. We've only got 2 minutes left.
Yeah.
The question is that we learned earlier that if she's got certain midot, the waters might not work on her.
Going.
Now, we're not sure why the waters are not working. So, yes, what you're saying is fine on the one side, but on the other side, if she's got these midot and the waters aren't working, it's not proving anything.
A good question, but it's true. But this is an exception to have the midot of what, as you say, to have the zchut, to have a credit. But commonly, this is not really happened. This will be only for very special women. So we rather try and see the truth what we can. Those, if it doesn't work, then tough luck, well, we can't really do anything. But most of the cases it will work. So therefore, there is, first of all, psychological way how to make her to admit. Afterwards, we say drink, and then we see what happened.
Okay. Thank you. Rav, we've got about a minute
Oh,
left.
there's one minute. Yeah.
So this is really part of the up to the point that we are trying to make her to drink, but also we said there are certain things that we are trying to encourage her to admit by showing some things from biblical texts and so on about people that admitted. And this comes in the next week in the continuation.
Shkoyach.
Thank you, Rav. Shkoyach.
Okay, have a good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos, Rav.
And,
Chodesh Tov. Thank you, Rav.
so
Thank you very much. Thank you.
we should hear.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom.
Michael, what about you? Coming or not?
Yeah, I'm planning maybe Hanukkah or just after Hanukkah.
Okay.
We're waiting. If they finalize.
Whatever you decide should be okay. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I'm leaving. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.